All right, back at it again for my backyard. I'm out here with Charlie, the Krispy Kreme raccoon. He's on a back tie, really pissed off, feeling sorry for himself, but he's doing really well. We had a really good first week now that he's not trying to kill me, for the most part. But I wanted to make a video geared towards dog owners that are dealing with reactivity on walks, because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I kind of popped off. I was really triggered, really triggered on my Instagram story today. And I wasn't talking shit, because I don't like talking shit about people. You won't see me go to another dog trainer's page and just start talking shit like everyone else does for some reason. I don't think it's good. But the state of the pet dog training industry is so insane. Like the standards are so fucked that I feel like I'm motivated to put out this video and at least offer something constructive on the topic, which people needlessly suffer and get confused over for like legitimately no reason. And again, we're talking about reactivity on walks. First, I want to mention what I think about the things that the regular dog trainers do. Because if you train dogs, you know, for the most part, especially with behavioral issues, you are not the first trainer that the client has come to. So a lot of the times, I've even got someone in my DMs right now I'm hoping to hook up with and work with, who's saying that we're dealing with reactivity on walks. Our trainer that we have right now is fantastic. We worked the prong collar and the e-collar and it's going really well. It's just that we can't get over this reactivity thing. Then the trainer's not fantastic. Okay, like they said they could fix the issue, they couldn't, and then they told these people that their dog, they're just gonna be having to manage this forever, like it's never going away. Is there a chance that's true? Yeah. Like there's the 1 in 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever dog that is just so genetically primed for bad behavior on walks that you're going to be utilizing some sort of management forever. Yeah, that exists. It's so rare. So rare. Even for the dogs that show the most explosive performance reacting on walks, that's very rarely the case where nothing can be done, right? This is just coping. This is a trainer that's in over their head and is just coping, right? It can't be, oh, I just don't know what I'm doing. It's that the dog's a mess, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys listening to this, dog owners that have been through this type of scenario, you've had a trainer try to tell you that your dog is the 1 in a million just fucked dog that's just never gonna be fixed. It's just bullshit. It's just complete fucking bullshit the vast amount of the time. Now, that's the balanced side. The prong collar, e-collar, heel grinding, down grinding, that type of shit, right? Then you've got the force-free side, which is just as bad, which is often some sort of differential reinforcement. The trigger comes, we get eye contact, click reward, click reward, click reward, or we stay at thresholds, click reward for eye contact. And look, he's looking at me, so he can't be looking at the dog, therefore he can't be reacting, which is total bullshit because the dogs look terrible. And the thresholds rarely change, if at all. So the dog is still a fucking mess. You're just playing hide the ball with where they're looking. Like you're just doing smoke and mirrors gimmicks. Like nothing is being accomplished. So the traditional, conventional, balanced trainer method is that we're going to drill obedience around the trigger with negative reinforcement. And so they'll do food too, like, oh, positive, look, negative, positive, whatever. Okay, and a lot of the times too, it'll be like low-level e-collar because they're trying to be like, oh, I use aversives, but not like that guy, which is just giga cringe. It's just super fucking cringe. And then you've got the force-free side, which is, oh, the dog, he's afraid or he's frustrated. This is out of his hands. He's so stupid and so out of control. We have to literally control where he looks. We can't let him look at the thing. We can't let him get close. We have to restrict his vision and we have to restrict his movement because he's such a fucking maniac, he's just gonna lose his mind. Which again, I disagree wholeheartedly with both stances. So, and I also wanna mention too, guys, if you're working with a trainer, and I'm not trying to fuck anybody over, I'm not trying to fuck over another trainer, but if you're working with a trainer that's doing these methods and you feel like it's working, that's totally fine. Continue. That's totally fine. I'm just telling you, dude, I'm getting eaten alive out here. I'm just telling you that it's not working if you've been doing the same thing for months and nothing's changing. It's not working. There is another way. It is actually possible to stop reactivity just outright. Like, it's just over with. I do it all the time. It's not hard. We're not even talking about super fucked up dogs, in which, again, the goal with behavioral modification should be to minimize management and try to create an independent, emotionally sound dog that doesn't feel the need to do whatever bad thing. The same thing goes for this like leash reactivity thing, but no one thinks of it that way. Everyone does management and calls it dog training. Management and behavioral modification are supposed to work hand in hand. They're not the same thing. The goal of behavioral modification, like I had said, is to adjust the way that the dog perceives the situation so that they don't perform whatever dangerous or destructive behavior that, or unwanted behavior that we don't want there, right? Management is supposed to control the pieces on the board so that we can just avoid like a blow up, right? Like, if I get him to look at me, he doesn't blow up in the moment. If I stay at threshold, he doesn't blow up in that moment. If I reinforce a heel, maybe he doesn't blow up in that moment. But that's not doing anything to address the way that the dog sees it and the way the dog feels about it. Nothing. And if it's not changing anything about the way that the dog is feeling, then it's not dog training. It's a waste of time. And you're actually probably fucking the dog up worse, which I may get to in this video. But I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I do with clients on the first private lesson. The first lesson with a client that says to me, my dog is a fucking maniac on walks. He blows up at people, dogs, cars, kids, whatever. He blows up, it's usually dogs. He blows up at other dogs on walks. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do in the first lesson. So, keep in mind, these are dogs that typically have been to another trainer, but the training is dog shit. Like, it's just bad. Like, there's not actually any coherent authority, obedience, or anything like that. There's no clear signals. It's just trash. And they've been brain fucked by repeated close range or just neurotic management strategies. So they're not coming in neutral. They've already been through like shitty training. The first thing we do is put the dog on a long leash. First thing. And people usually look at me like, dude, are you serious? And again, like, if your dog is actually dangerous, you should not be doing this. You should hire a dog trainer that knows what they're doing. But I'm telling you right now, I'll put that dog on a 15-foot line or a flexi lead or something like that. And we'll be out in a busy place that the dog's been to before, that the dog has been horrible in before. Like, I'll have clients send me videos like, if you can safely get a video of the behavior, show me what's going on. And the dog's going insane at the other dog. Again, typically, they're trying to redirect the dog with food, differential reinforcement for eye contact, reinforce the heel with the prong collar and the e-collar, and the dog's going fucking berserk. And this is all done on a 5-foot, 6-foot leash or whatever. When we put the dog on the longer leash and we don't do anything other than just walk, about half the time, if not more, we cannot get the dog to fuck up. Literally cannot get him to do it. We'll have his trigger all over the place. And I'm not talking about we walk the dog up point blank to the thing. That's just not fair. Like, we're being fair. But we're well within that threshold where problems should be happening, but they're not. And the owner's looking at me like, oh, well, this isn't going to be a good lesson now because he's not doing it. I say back to them, I'm like, no, this is a sign that the things that you've been taught to do are making it happen. Like, worse, like way worse. This is a sign that your dog is not this maniac that other dog trainers have convinced you to believe and your bad experiences have convinced you to believe. What the long line does is give the dogs options. Options outside of fucking exploding. I can sniff, I can get closer to the thing and sniff the air and look and all these things. And the key component here is that we are not utilizing human intervention. So I'm telling people, fucking put the e-collar remote in your pocket or take the e-collar off. Like, usually I'll have them take it off because I don't want you touching this. I don't want you interrupting the dog. That you've done way too much of that. We take the food and we leave it in the car. We're not using food. We're not hiding the world behind curtains anymore. That's why you're here. We're not managing anymore. We're gonna give him a chance. Take a risk. We're on a long leash. We've got a good grip on the leash. We're at a safe distance. See what happens when he has the option to look and truly explore the thing, right? Without going up and actually touching it, because we don't want something stupid to happen. But like, most of the time, we'll pass one dog, the dog, maybe he'll blow up a little bit or he'll get frustrated. Usually what they'll do is start quickly performing the conditioned behaviors. They'll look back at the owner for the food, look back at the dog, look, or dive into heel, sit down, stand, fucking heel. Like, they start doing all of those rituals that have been conditioned into them by bad dog training. And all of those behaviors have taken on the emotional frustration of the reaction itself. And I tell the owner, stop marking and rewarding that. Let him be. Stop it. Like, I'm literally telling you to not do anything other than just be safe and have a good grip on the leash. You know what the dogs start doing? They start sniffing and peeing and rolling in the grass and wandering around. Like 50+% of the time. Completely serious. And the client, again, like, when I break it down to them, they're like, oh, wow, this is insane. But before when we're just watching, they're like, I don't get why he's not doing it. I don't get why he's not doing it. Like, I swear to you, he's a fucking maniac. It's like, yeah, he's a maniac when you give him no choice, right? And now that we've given him choices, we can build off of that. And that doesn't mean that the dog needs to live on a long line forever. Like, we can very quickly switch this over to whatever behavior, like whatever criteria we want. Like, if we want to start healing the dog, we can deal with that. A lot of the time, because of the bad training, the heel command itself has been emotionally conditioned to be rotten and frustrated. So we have to unpack that, all of the damage from the bad reps. But right now, I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission to go out and just enjoy being with your dog on a long leash. Just go. Just exist. Let him look around. Stop pre-gaming by, trying to redirect him and fucking, no, there's dogs. Dude, go. Like, go to a park or someplace where there's grass. And this is more for the human a lot of the time. Start at a longer range. That's totally fine until he shows you that, wow, maybe he's not that interested in going after that dog. It's just that when I've restrained him and restricted him, I haven't let him explore that emotional state, right? Like, let him go to the end of the leash and sniff the air as the dog walks by. Again, not point blank, but like, let him have the space. And a lot of you guys, again, I'm not going to say that this is going to cure anything, but I can guarantee you, for many of you, your dogs will shock you when you give them the chance. Just let them be dogs, okay? Let them be dogs. Now, from that point on, you are going to have to do something, because the reactivity has likely been reinforced a bunch of times. And typically, I'm not going to get into the full deal here. There's typically some sort of outlet issue, some sort of fulfillment issue, where the reactivity has become the time for the dog to exercise a lot of these intense emotions that he otherwise wouldn't have a chance to. So this is like drive leaking into dumb bullshit behaviors. But I don't want to we could talk about this all day long, but that's typically like where the conversation goes with the client after that. It's like, what does your dog like to do? How often does he get to do it? Oh, he's locked in the backyard barking at people walking by all day long. Well, that's the highlight of his life. Why wouldn't he do that on the leash? We need to go do something. Let's train him to be off leash so he can chase squirrels and shit in the woods. And now all of a sudden, we don't even need obedience. Like, I do it, but that's not... If you've been working with a dog trainer for months and the furthest you've gotten is e-collar and prong collar grinding the heel and the down, nothing's going to change other than your dog's going to get worse. There's no other field where the professional can get zero results and actually fuck things up worse, where people will say, well, he's great. I mean, he's awesome. You'll have people that have been training dogs for like 30 years that this is as far as they've gone, is just fucking dogs up with tools or with food, right? Like that's the furthest. They never address what's going on from the dog's perspective. So just, I guess I would say, to wrap it up, two things. If you're working with a trainer on a so-called leash reactivity issue, and you've been at it for a month plus, and you feel like you're doing the same things over and over and over again, and maybe blow-ups aren't happening when you're doing those things, like the click treat for the eye contact differential reinforcement or whatever. If you were just to walk by on the same leash at the same distance and the dog would blow up, or you can feel the tension, then I would reconsider the program, right? Like you're probably not accomplishing anything. You could be doing damage. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, with safety being the primary concern, if you can take your dog out on a long leash, a flexi lead or just a regular long line, and just go for a free walk and let him do his thing, right, in a safe and controlled manner, just pay attention. Does he get bored after a couple dogs walk by and he realizes, I don't need this, I can just sniff? You may not have to go much further than that. But at minimum, even if you do, you have something you can build off of, okay? And you should hire a dog trainer after that that's interested in pursuing that type of strategy, or we're considering how's the dog feeling and taking this in. Okay, this already went 15 minutes longer than I thought it would. I just got super fucking triggered. Super triggered, because you've also got these people that, like dog trainers, like pro dog trainers, that they themselves own dogs that are leash reactive or aggressive and have to wear muzzles and harnesses with hazard signs and don't look at the dog and like that type of thing. And they brag about it like it's some sort of status symbol. It's like this weirdo positivity acceptance thing where it's like, yeah, my dog's a fucking mess. So what? Go fuck yourself. I'm a hero. I'm taking care of this fucked up dog. Dude, you're not a hero. You're a loser, because you're damning your dog to a life of struggle. You don't get to be a hero for that. You suck. You shouldn't be taking clients. Anyways, I'll wrap it up now. If you try this and it works, doesn't work, if you see no change, whatever, maybe you see a lot of change, you can comment and let me know what you think. Or if you want to ask questions, comment, and I'll try to get back to you guys. But thanks for watching.